Welcome. Today we have Monice Sanders with us. Monice is a career and leadership consultant. Monice, thank you for taking time today to discuss career coaching. Could you start by telling us a little bit about how you came into career coaching?
I sure can. I'm happy to do that, and I'm very happy to be here. So thank you so much. My career was really very corporate. I spent many years working for Verizon. I started with Verizon in a leadership development program, and as a result, I had lots and lots of opportunities to do many different things. Most of those things were in either marketing, operations, or human resources, different combinations, different projects. I managed large teams, I managed small teams, I had lots of opportunities. And towards the latter part of my time at Verizon, I was the director for university relations and recruiting. I enjoyed that job a lot. It had a lot of mentoring components that went with it. I managed the company's recruiters that handled the relationships with, our universities that were in our footprint. And I loved it. So I decided to take my career into that direction. What I love about being a career coach is that it enables me to use every single aspect of my background to work with people and to help them come up with ideas for their own careers. So that's kind of how I got here.
Great. So maybe you could talk a little bit about a career vision and what is a career vision and why is that important for somebody to have?
Okay, that is in fact very, very important. It can really sort of anchor and direct your entire career. And this is for everybody. This is for somebody that is just starting on their very first job. It's somebody that just got an advanced degree. It's somebody that's very high up in an organization, somebody that wants to start their own organization, everything in between. And what the career vision is really is, where do you picture yourself being in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Where are you going? And really only you can make that determination. So when you think about a career vision, how do you picture yourself? Are you picturing yourself with a briefcase? Are you picturing yourself somewhere, with work boots on? Are you picturing yourself out talking to lots of people on teams? Whatever that is. And so when you think about your career vision, I like to suggest that you think about three things: what function, what industry, and what geography. Those are three really, really important things. There are others, but those are three that you can really use to start thinking about it. And these days, what I coach people a lot is to start off with the geography piece. Because if you want to do, let's just take brand management, but you want to live somewhere like Colorado or Montana, it's a little bit difficult because that's not where the headquarters is. If you want financial services industry, you're going to be somewhat limited. So anyway, that's what I suggest people think about when they begin. That's kind of what a career vision is.
Good. That makes sense. Yeah. From a big picture perspective, how do you think about the career management process and what types of things might people reflect on a periodic basis?
Okay, so that's kind of where the career vision comes in. It is really an iterative process. So you've got your career vision, you start thinking about, kind of self-assessment and research. Where are you? What are your skills? How does that match up with what your career vision is or where it is that you want to go? So you kind of do that, you reflect, you begin building sort of your action plan or your marketing plan. That marketing plan consists of your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letter, everything that you use to market yourself. And while you're doing that, you might realize that you have a gap, right? You want something on your resume, but you can't put it on there because you haven't done it. So that starts you down a path of maybe trying to gather or work on whatever that is. So you do that, you start networking somewhat based on the research that you've done and the target list that you've created. I'm hitting this very quickly. It can take a long time to do these things. I'm just kind of running through it very quickly. You create your brand, you start networking, and then if you're lucky and if you're skilled, you will begin getting invited to interviews and things like that. Right. And if you don't, you go back and work on your brand a little bit more and work on your self-marketing. You start interviewing. And once you do that, hopefully you will get an offer. You will negotiate about that offer, or maybe you'll get multiple offers. Right. And hopefully you will then transition into a role that you like. You're sitting in that role that you think you're going to like, and you start the process again. What's my vision? How does this match? What do I need to do? So hopefully that makes sense. It's a
That
mouthful.
makes a lot of sense. And I hear you with the iterative process and cycling back to the vision. And as the vision changes, then, the career management process has to adapt accordingly with that. Great. Well, one of the other things I hear a lot about is that, today companies want you to really own your career. And they want you to practice career ownership. So what are some of the tools that people should be using for career ownership?
Okay, very, very good question. And it's one that I really enjoy. It's an accountability question. It is something that we actually learned at Verizon, which I mentioned earlier. We had something that we called Career Challenge. I run into it all the time in career coaching now. That's something that companies really, really value, people that manage their own careers. So some of the tools really are what I mentioned earlier, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your branding materials, but it's also things like who are the people in your network? And when I say network, it's not a bad word. Who are your friends? Who are the people that you talk to? Who are the people that you know? So you want to have some of that in your toolbox. You want to have some people that are at your level, some people that are in roles that you're interested in. Maybe they're in other organizations, maybe they're working on nonprofits, maybe they're volunteering, but you want some of those people and some of those skills in your toolbox. Also in your toolbox, what you might want to include are memberships, conferences, associations, things that you're doing to constantly sort of retool yourself, keep yourself really current.
Right.
For young people that are just starting off, that's pretty, I'm not going to say easy, but it's smoother to do because they're on campuses. But once you get out there and start working, and if you've been working for many years, you might start thinking, I got this down, I think I kind of know everything. People are going to come to me when they have questions, but you still have to continue availing yourself of those tools. So those are just some of them.
Right. Great. Well, thank you. Thank you. Monice, thank you for sharing your insights today on career management. I actually think there's probably a number of further topics that we could talk about in the whole area of careers and managing your careers, et cetera. Would you be open to coming back and continuing this conversation?
Sure, I would love to talk about that. This is a topic I really enjoy. It has many, many directions. So
Great.
thank you so much for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. It's obvious that you're very, knowledgeable and passionate about that. It really comes through. So that's great. I look forward to picking this up again with some further topics. And for everybody else, thank you for joining us today.